Well, hi! So when we watch a movie or a TV show or even read a book, we are often most intrigued by the characters in the story. Generally speaking, the weirder or more bizarre a character is, the better the story becomes, which is why we love fiction, because those characters are far more interesting than anyone that could exist in real life, right? Well, what you might not know is that the characters in some of the most famous stories aren't fiction at all. In fact, they were based on real people. So this week, I gathered the most interesting ones to share with you all. So here they are, 10 fictional characters that were based on real people. Number 1 is Severus Snape. The infamous Severus Snape from the Harry Potter universe was based off a real chemistry teacher named John Nettleship. But Nettleship wasn't just any chemistry teacher, he taught author J.K. Rowling while she attended Wydeen School while growing up in England. During her time there, she didn't take much of a liking to Nettleship, which is why she decided to immortalize her chemistry teacher as the shady potion teaching Professor Snape. See, this is exactly why teachers need to be nice to students, because you never know which ones might grow up and mention you unfavorably in their creative works. Miss McClellan from grade school? Miserable hag. Number 2 is Rocky Balboa. The most iconic fictional boxer of all time, Rocky Balboa, was based off a real fighter named Chuck Wepner. Wepner was a boxer that never made it to the big time, but did get a chance to fight Muhammad Ali in 1975. The famous fight went on until Wepner was eventually knocked out by Ali in the 15th and final round. Even though he didn't win the fight, the fact that he lasted so long against Ali inspired a young actor named Sylvester Stallone, who watched the fight on TV to write the script for Rocky, and the rest is history.
Hey yo, who knew Rocky was a real guy, you know?
Number 3 is KRUSTY the Clown. If you're afraid of clowns, prepare yourself. While growing up in Portland, Oregon, Simpsons creator Matt Groening used to watch a television program that featured a real-life clown named Rusty Nails. As an adult, Groening was inspired to create the character of KRUSTY the Clown based on the mannerisms and persona of the famous clown that he watched as a child. You know, it makes a lot more sense now why he created a weird-ass cartoon series of people with yellow skin and only 8 fingers. He grew up watching a crazy-ass clown with a terrifying name like Rusty Nails. That's enough to warp anybody's mind. Number 4 is Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes, the most famous fictional detective of all time, was based off a real Scottish lecturer from the 19th century named Dr. Joseph Bell. Bell was a lecturer at the University of Edinburgh in Scotland and was known for his incredible observational skills and superior intelligence. In fact, he was famous for being able to observe a man and instantly deduce things he couldn't possibly have known. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, the creator of Sherlock Holmes, was an acquaintance of Bell and was inspired to create the character after Bell began advising police in several investigations in Scotland. Number 5 is James Bond. James Bond, the debonair super spy that's been played by actors like Sean Connery and Daniel Craig, was based off a real British spy named Forrest E.O. Thomas. E.O. Thomas was known as one of the UK's top spies during World War II who infiltrated enemy territory to carry out secret missions. He was captured and tortured by the Gestapo only to escape to safety. Ian Fleming, author of the James Bond novels, was also once a member of British intelligence, and although they never worked together, was inspired to create the character of James Bond from the stories of E.O. Thomas's escape from enemy forces. I'm just really glad Fleming gave Bond the codename of 007 instead of using E.O. Thomas's real codename, which was White Rabbit. It doesn't exactly have the same manly ring. Ooh, careful Goldfinger, White Rabbit's gonna get ya. Number 6 is Cosmo KRAMER. One of the most famous characters from the 90s TV show Seinfeld was Cosmo KRAMER, and as it turns out, was very much based off a real person named Kenny Kramer. Kenny Kramer was a former neighbor of Seinfeld co-creator Larry David and was known for being eccentric and always coming up with harebrained schemes to make money. One of these schemes included renting a bus and charging people for a reality tour of his own life, one of the many ideas that was actually used in an episode of the show. Personally, I was a huge fan of Seinfeld and I would definitely go on this tour, especially if it's only $37.50. Oh yeah, giddy up. Number 7 is Indiana Jones. The famous archaeologist and adventurer Indiana Jones was based off a real-life man named Hiram Bingham III. Bingham was a history professor at Yale University and, like Indiana Jones, dabbled in archaeology. And, like Indiana Jones, he too was an adventurer. In fact, he was best known for discovering the ruins of Machu Picchu in 1911, first bringing them international attention. Even the famous gigantic rolling boulder scene from Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark took place in a part of Hawaii that looks a lot like a part of Machu Picchu. Number 8 is Popeye. The famous cartoon character Popeye the Sailor was indeed based off a real person named Frank Fiegel, who grew up up with the cartoon character's creator, E.C. Seeger. Fiegel was known as the local tough guy who smoked a pipe, was quick to dish out an ass whooping if someone provoked him, and wasn't exactly the best looking dude. I'm sure you can see the similarities. Even Popeye's girlfriend Olive Oil was based off a tall, thin woman that he knew named Dora Pascal. Man, I miss watching Popeye on Saturday mornings. That was the best. But then again, I guess there's just as good cartoons nowadays, like Powerpuff Girls, I guess. I miss the good old days of cartoons. Number 9 is Zorro. The legendary masked outlaw Zorro was based off a man born in 1829 named Joaquin Murrieta. The story of Murrieta is that his family was attacked and murdered by American miners. Unable to find justice through the legal system, he became a vigilante known as the Robin Hood of El Dorado, who sought revenge on the men that wronged him. After his death in 1853, his name quickly became a legend, which inspired the character of Zorro in the novella The Curse of Capistrano in 1919. I always found it very interesting that Batman became more famous than Zorro, because both men are masked outlaws whose families were killed, but Zorro has that smooth Spanish accent, whereas Batman sounds like a person with a lisp and a permanent cold. Figure that one out. And number 10, Norman Bates. Norman Bates, the crazy killer from the novel-turned-movie Psycho, was based off a real murderer from the 1950s named Ed Gein. The author of the novel, Robert Bloch, lived less than 1 hour away from where Gein butchered 2 women and attempted to wear their skin like a suit. These gruesome acts gave Bloch the inspiration to create the character of Norman Bates, who dresses up as his own mother and kills his hotel guests. Interestingly, Gein also inspired Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs. That's right, some of the scariest horror movie characters of all time actually existed. Enjoy going to bed with that knowledge. It's just skin, Steven. Anyways, that's all for this video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it, and as it turns out, fiction isn't so fictional after all, huh? If you'd like to add me to Facebook and Twitter, or check out my second channel, the links to all of those will be in the description, along with all the other important social networking links, yada yada. You guys know the deal. And other than that, I will see you guys next Saturday with a brand new video. Peace.
That's the outro screen. Blah, 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 blah.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching my new video. If you enjoyed it, please remember to click the big red subscribe button below to subscribe to my channel. I release a new video every Saturday. And while you're at it, maybe click the like button and share this on Facebook, Twitter. Leave a comment if you want. All your activity is very appreciated. So thank you so much in advance. I hope you have a great weekend, and I will see you next Saturday, same bat time, same bat channel. Na 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 na. I don't know what that was.